Welcome back, everyone. Today's video I titled Losses Forever, and that's not really a accurate assessment of what I think is going to happen. But this is me looking at what people seem to be thinking when it comes to the uranium mining majors and the sector in general with regards to their future and what could motivate them. Another assumption that I kind of see people making is that miners will never make money. I mean, sure, they'll make money a little bit here and there when the price moves fortuitously, but people seem to be under the impression that miners will rush into production as soon as they could be profitable and basically hope to break even if things go well. And let me go into why I think that is probably a bit of a bear market assumption to make. You have Cameco and Kazaa, and I've seen the narrative out there that they want to cap the price at 50 or 55 bucks. Maybe, but I will go into why I disagree with this, and it doesn't really make much sense for either of them. But maybe, after all this time, do we really think they're going to be in a big hurry to make a little bit of profit, to try and stop the price move and make a small but acceptable amount of profit? Again, maybe. Next question. Can they produce enough to cap the price move? And remember, variable demand. How much demand will there be? Can they cap the price? Maybe, but really, and I'll get into this in a sec, maybe not. Maybe not even close. As a reminder, these companies have been scraping by and barely surviving for years now. Because Kazatomprom doesn't make enough to pay their dividend, taking on debt, taking off charges against depletion. They're not super profitable by any stretch of the imagination. Then you look, and as I mentioned in the past, Cameco paid $150 million for a share that amounts to 22 million pounds of uranium. Now, I'm not a mathematician here, but they would need to make a significant amount of profit on those pounds to break even for what they paid for them. Forget about, I know this is crazy. What if the goal were for Cameco to grow? How much profitability, how many dollars a pound would they have to make to grow if they paid that much for their pounds? Do they really want to cap the price at 50? I'll get into a sec why they might not, but maybe. But remember, it's not just the profitability per pounds. They need to cover costs, account for depreciation. These mines don't last forever. They don't last that long. Then they need to account for amortization, make them pay off, pay for themselves. They need to cover gross and administrative. Costs a lot to run a company. Then they need to make enough money to cover their dividend. And then, I know this is an obscene concept in the mining world, but what if they wanted to grow? What if they wanted to capture some of the market share of the expanding market? How much money do you think they would want for their pounds? So I ask again, are they really so concerned with capping the price? Because here's the thing, even if they do cap the price to contain the market or whatever, what happened last time? What happened in 2012? Well, Chinese company bought a big mine, brought it into production. You can have a sovereign power. You could, even if you can control, even if you knew what the demand was going to be and you cap the price, well, then you could still have some power that decides, we're not going to buy from you. We want our own security of supply. So they buy some other mine and bring it into production. Well, if that crushes the price, all your controlling of the price, that was so useful. My point is just that they really should, in my opinion, have bigger things to worry about. They should worry about getting a fair return and growing their own company to the best of their ability. Why should they put themselves out and concern themselves with the price not going higher? Especially, they've been barely making or losing money for a decade now. Why should they be so concerned with capping the price? But again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they will. But when I look at it, I see McArthur River as probably the most important asset. I can make some arguments for a few other ones having a lot of importance, but McArthur River, very important. When the uranium price moves, I think it's going to be a signal that it really needs more production than what it's getting. What is a big piece of that potential production? McArthur River. So when I look at the situation that Cameco's in, I see, well, why can't they get at least $65 per pound for McArthur River? And I can make an argument that they could probably easily get 70. Find me, if you disagree, find me enough uranium that's ready near term to fill the supply gap without McArthur River, near term. Okay, well, if you found it, I probably might disagree with some of it, but okay, maybe. And again, let's assume that you found it at prices less than $65, which again, good luck, but sure, you could do it, I'm sure. And then you look and you think, well, okay, let's say they lose, and this again, the problem with this potential scenario is they might be stuck in their own short squeeze. But if they couldn't, or if they weren't stuck in the short squeeze, what's their worst case? Market says, no, we could scrounge together 5 projects and hopefully 2 years later supply enough uranium to make up for McArthur River and then add 2 more projects after that. And maybe we make up for those 40 million pounds that McArthur would have been producing in those less time to start up. Okay. Cameco could then be like, sure, whatever. Okay, Cigar Lake is depleting in a few years. Worst case, McArthur River replaces that. We don't care. Because really, if they're going to restart McArthur to just break even, what's the point? They're depleting Cigar Lake. And what, at a price, let's say they started up at $50, starting it up at a price where only tier 1 production can make money and you have half the cost curve, or at least a third or a quarter of the cost curve, losing money. Is that really what you want to use a tier 1 asset to do? Really? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you've made it to this point, I applaud you. If you enjoyed, you might also enjoy the other episodes in this series, and they will be all out eventually, and probably some have been released already. As always, nothing I say is investment advice. This is all just what I'm seeing, how I'm thinking about the sector, and what I view as relevant. So with that, I will leave you there and have a great day.